In the tabletop adventurer Ghosts of Ur, everything relies on a little bit of basic math skills. Anglian with his plus 15 to all adventure versus environment rolls, Brodgar with his plus 20 to all adventure versus adventure rolls, Kish being minus 20, Emmerfield being plus 10 for all defenders, Ghost being plus 25, Nisia Mook cards having equipment values that can enhance any roll, Nana getting plus 45, and so on and so on and so on. It can get kind of confusing from time to time. Let's see if we can't simplify this if we take a step back. To start, attackers always roll first. Then after seeing their roll, they add any modifiers that they may get naturally, like Anglian plus 15 against environment, Manx plus 30 on water, or Brodgar's plus 20 against all adventurer combat. After that, if they are not satisfied with the current number, they can add any Nisia Mook equipment that they have in their hand to make their roll even bigger. Once the attacker is satisfied with their roll, the defender looks at it and decides if they would like to add any of their own equipment to their roll, but this must be done first, not after they roll. No defender can ever use any cards once they have rolled the combat dice. Kish, Acadians, Ghosts, and Nana never use cards. They just have their basic modifiers, good and bad, that get added or minused off of their defensive rolls. First, let's take a look at some of the most common modifiers in the adventure. Kish have a minus 20 modifier to their combat roll. Acadians have nothing, plus or minus, just a straight up even roll. They also always have their own individual Nisia Mook card when beaten. Ghosts, Gilgamesh, Nasaba, and Anki all have plus 25 modifier to their rolls. Nana has a plus 45 to his roll. Amirfield tile sets award plus 10 to all defenders, and that means, you guessed it, Nasaba's Ghost is actually a plus 35 because she's always on Amirfield. Since combat dice are 1 through 100, most of the combinations of attacker versus defender can be mentally worked out within a very small window of typically 1 second. However, I want to be clear, there are times when scenarios like this can take place. Anglian moves on to an undiscovered square and reveals an Amirfield with 1 Kish. He rolls an 11 on his combat dice and then adds his natural plus 15 to make it a 26. He then adds a Nisia Mook card, Spear of plus 15, to bring his roll up to a 41 and sticks there. The Kish would normally be minus 20, meaning that they would need a 61 or better to win the combat on their defender roll, but wait, this Kish is on an Amirfield, so they are awarded plus 10 as defender, meaning that they only need a 51 or better to win. Whew. Well, that's a lot of math, but rest assured, they ain't all like that, adventurers. Combat and the math that comes with it is very simple when you follow this very basic order. Attacker rolls, attacker adds any personal modifiers, attacker adds any equipment if they want, attacker has a number that the defender must beat. Defender decides to add any equipment first. Defender then rolls the combat dice and adds or subtracts any personal modifiers and terrain modifiers and adjusts the number accordingly. Highest roll wins, and defenders win all ties. Whew, that's it. Believe it or not, this happens rather quickly, unlike this video.
See You in Ancient Sumer, Spring of 22 Kickstarter.